Okay, so the three things for today. I think you're going to enjoy it. The first one is an Am I the A-hole post where a woman lays into her MAGA mom because she lost her job. The second post is a stay-at-home mom. She's trying to get suggestions because she's kind of lost herself as she stayed home and with the redundancy that goes along with being a homemaker. And the third post is a woman who does not want kids. And we've had this discussion where the men seem to be wanting kids more than the women. And the bonus, you got to stick around for the bonus. The bonus is going to end up in another video later on because this is part of the Leopards Are Feasting video. But I'm adding it here because y'all need it. And sometimes people don't always watch all of the videos. So if you see this twice, that's the reason. But stick around for the bonus. You will be high-fiving me. You will be laughing. You will be laughing. All right, y'all, watch the videos. I wonder how many stories we're going to see like this with people being pissed at their MAGA supporter family members for all of the destruction and chaos and stress in the economy, all the firings. I wonder how many stories we're going to see like this post. So this woman says, am I the a-hole for telling my mom that she's partially responsible for me getting laid off this week? I don't think you're the a-hole, ma'am. All right, so she says, so my mom is 68 and my dad is 70. Both voted for Trump. It's a major point of contention between us as I, 38-year-old woman, believe him to be evil incarnate and a weak, dementia-addled geriatric who has no business leading anyone, much less an entire country. But that's not necessarily what this post is about. I work in the education tech sector, and on Friday, my entire team and I were laid off as a result of the dismantling of the Department of Education. Super fun and not terrible at all. She was grilling me about finding a new job, what I was doing to find one, the kind of places I was applying to, etc. Note, it's been less than 24 hours since I was laid off. And I blew up at her and essentially said, you know what? I need to be left alone. You voted for this. Thank you. And then she called my sister, who is a raging liberal, while I tend to fall left of center, and cried to her over the phone about how both of us think she's a bad person just because of how she voted. The truth of the matter is that, while I don't necessarily think she's a bad person at her core, I do believe her to be deeply misinformed and willfully ignorant. She's also a blind follower of my father, who I'm not convinced isn't actually kind of a shit human. My sister backed me up, thank God for sisterhood, and essentially said that she was entitled to her opinions, but we were also entitled to call her out when she was wrong or when we disagreed with her, especially when her opinions hurt other people. She then said she wasn't sure when she'd ever call me again, which honestly, I'm kind of okay with. But I want to make sure that I'm not throwing away a relationship with my mother over nothing. Blood relations don't mean much to me. I'm definitely a found family person, but she's still my mom, you know. I gave up on my dad a long time ago, so losing him means little to nothing to me. She says, am I the a-hole? I don't believe she's the a-hole. I do believe that you have to shine a light on all the things that's going on because too many of these people live in an echo chamber of Fox. They don't actually believe what's going on. They truly believe that Doge and Trump are doing what's best for the country, like firing all these people is somehow going to help their tax bill. Our taxes are not going to change. It really isn't. They're causing all this stress and turmoil in our economy simply, I don't know, to help billionaires. Regular folks are not going to feel any improvement. Our tax bills are not going down. And actually, all of our cost of living is about to go up. So women like this, not women like this, people like this, these voters need to see the harm and destruction that they're causing. But I'm the type of person, I've been making videos talking about leopards are feasting for months now. So obviously, I don't think this woman is a bad person. I don't think she's an a-hole. Because if I did, I would have to consider myself an a-hole. And, you know, if people label me that, then I'll take it either way. But anyways, this woman's not the a-hole in my opinion. And Specialist Crew says, effing hell, your mom should have offered to take you out to dinner and watch a movie with you or get your nails done if you're into that. Not grilled you about how you're going to find a new job. I'm so sorry you got laid off. I hope you find something else soon. And whatever and Breathe says plus, it's not like with all the current layoffs and the economy going down the trash that it will be easy to find a job that pays the bills. Exactly. So many people are getting laid off at one time that they're all going to flood the private sector. It's about to suck out there. And that's what Toots in New York City says. OP is going to be competing with all those other laid off federal workers, and businesses are not going to be expanding right now. And these businesses know that there's going to be a flood of people, so they can keep salaries depressed. They can keep wages low because there's going to be a glut of people that are looking for jobs. Dry Novel says, not to mention all the other tech cuts recently. Plus, you have douche McNugget Efferberg saying stuff like AI can do the job of a mid-level engineer. Like, what the F are people supposed to do after spending decades learning how to do a thing? Sorry for the rant. It just pisses me off so much. I got fired by a company, and not even a month later, they're talking about integrating AI in the software on LinkedIn. Sucks to be mid-level. Feed Only Rabbit says, anyone who's ever coded and tried to use AI knows while it can do some low-level stuff impressively, it ain't ever going to replace engineers. As amazing a human achievement it is. And then Dry Novel says, they're still trying, and that's the scary part. Chief Bell says, not the a-hole. She was callous and didn't even have compassion for you as a human, let alone a child that she birthed. Badgering you about your job search 24 hours after being let go from a previous one is top-tier dirtbag behavior. Do what you have to do to protect your peace. S. Fengle says, my ex-father-in-law did the same to me when I was let go from a job back in 2023. I was home less than 24 hours, and he was already badgering me about applying for jobs and pressuring me to hurry up and find a job, like his son was the only one with the income. For the record, not only did I have my compensation from getting injured in the military, I was also qualified for 26 weeks of unemployment payments, and I had $10,000 in the bank. Edit. They're all Trumpers. All right, y'all. You let me know. Join the conversation. Is this woman the a-hole for telling her mother what reality is? Let me know. Join the conversation. Like, comment, and share. I came across this post in the Black Ladies subreddit, and I can definitely understand where this woman is coming from because I was a stay-at-home mom right after my kids were born, and actually for a few years after that. She says, my life is boring and I feel bleehh about myself. She says, I'm a 29-year-old stay-at-home mom, and I feel as if I'm floating through life. Each day is the same. I have a good husband and a wonderful son, but it seems I've lost motivation and drive to do anything. Every day I cook, clean, tend to the household, and my son. I've thought about making a YouTube channel and tried making content, but I don't feel like anyone would watch it, and I would feel embarrassed. I've lost a sense of myself since becoming a mom. I wear sweatpants and oversized shirts 95% of the time. My hair is always in simple twists and under a bonnet. I want to reinvent myself and become more motivated, but I don't know how. Please give me some suggestions and advice. When I see working women come to social media to say stuff like, how did feminists convince us to go out to work? And I would rather be at home, tending to the house. They do not know how redundant it can be to be a stay-at-home mom and a housewife, because you really do have to be creative in making sure that you stay connected, that you don't lose yourself, because cooking, cleaning, and just doing stuff for your kids can it can get redundant. It can get monotonous. You can lose yourself. This is one of the reasons why I talk about the things that I talk about, not losing yourself, not losing your hobbies, finding something that is just for you, because it is very easy to end up like this. Like I said before, I was a stay-at-home mom. I breastfed 2 children, so these kids were always connected to me. But you have to create community. You have to get online. You got to find mommy groups in your area. You got to find virtual groups so you can stay plugged in and stay yourself. Something that I did, I like to work out. I was a personal trainer before I became a stay-at-home mom, so I was still working out. I was going to the parks with my kids. I would find local things to do. We would be going to the libraries. That's where you find other mothers with kids your age. So there's always things to do, but you have to be intentional every single day. Something else that I did as a stay-at-home mom, I still tried to find time for myself. In the beginning, when the kids are really young, it's hard to carve out time for yourself, but it's still important. Yes, I was still wearing tank tops and workout pants, but I like colors. So I would always be in bright colors. I would wake up, I would read a little bit. I would try to do something for myself. I would have my cup of coffee. It was just like little things that you would do that still make you feel a little bit like yourself before the day happens and everything goes into mommy mode. You still have to work out. You still gotta, do your hair. You still have to do something for yourself so you don't just devolve into such and such's mom or such and such's wife. You still need to find something to be yourself. Take off the bonnet, take off the pajamas, put on something that makes you feel good. Put on some lip gloss, put on some lipstick, spray some perfume so that you still feel like a human. Go to the library. That's where other moms will be. That way your children could go play with those other kids and you might be able to breathe a little bit. You'll be able to have a book because it'll be a self-contained little area. And you do that while the weather is cold. And then when it gets warmer, then you start to explore a little bit more. So that is what I did as a stay-at-home mother until my kids got a little bit bigger and we could explore even more things. So join the conversation. Let me know, have you ever been in the situation where you were at home for a time and then you started to lose yourself? Lurker Ninja says you need hobbies that will let you meet adults to talk to, like take a class at a university and learn a language, for example, play D&D with some people, something for yourself. Making YouTube content is still just you giving yourself to others. This person in the middle says, I would not suggest a YouTube channel. Really suggest to people to try out random hobbies. You might accidentally find something you love, but if her child is still really young and she still the child still needs a lot of attention, she'll have to find something where kids can go as well. And that's what Love Hydrangeas is saying as well. Take the baby and go somewhere, parks for a walk, baby child friendly museums, take up a hobby. If you don't know what you like, what did you like previously? Start there. And that's something else that we did. We would go to museums. A lot of museums have free days because, if you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you're on a budget. There are definitely things that you can do in your community. There was a play area where there was just kids because we used to live in Chicago and it would be cold. So some of the things that we had to do would have to be on the inside, but you have to look around. You got to get on social media. Social media has been amazing for connecting people, whereas before you would just be isolated watching TV or something. You got to get out the house. Careful It Bites says, same, stay-at-home mom, 30, 2 kids and a husband. I oscillate between being either chronically over or underwhelmed. I just enrolled in school, currently looking for a job, getting back into hobbies. They say it takes around 2 to 3 years after a baby to start to feel human again. Carve out time in your day to focus and commit to yourself. Your appearance is directly tied to your mental health. It takes routine and consistency to get out the t-shirts and sweats phase. Good luck, mama. Eternity says, start with getting dressed and doing your hair every day. In my unprofessional regular opinion, it's impossible to feel excited or inspired by the day if you aren't even dressed and ready for it. Whenever I get dressed every day, my very next thought is, all right, what am I doing today? Then, in my unprofessional regular opinion, find a hobby, more specifically an exercise type of hobby in class form if you can afford it, because moving your body with intention while in that group setting will do wonders for your mental health and maybe even give you that push to start moving back to yourself. And you can find community in the gym. It also helps that some gym classes provide childcare, so you have your adult time without stressing about a babysitter. 29 is just too young to be feeling like this. I completely agree with everything that she said. When we could go to the gym, when we found childcare, it was amazing. I would get some time to myself. The kids got time to go over there and play. It was amazing. I definitely agree with this. And those endorphins, they make you happier. It makes you happy to move your body, or at least it makes me happy to move my body. Spirit Flyer says, I like this idea. Get out to the gym or YMCA, take a Zumba class or something. Once you get those muscles moving, you'll feel inspired to do other things, go other places, and look good while you're doing it. Absolutely. I feel the exact same way. So I'm glad that women are jumping into the comment section. It's not a lot of comments on here, and that's perfectly fine. But everything, these women are saying things that are easy. It's not really easy to incorporate, because when you kind of lose yourself, it takes little bits of time to claw yourself out of that. Just to change up your outfit a little bit. Do not just wear sweats. Put on something cute. Put on something with a pop of color. Buy yourself a flower. Buy something. See, I used to get myself mugs, so my mugs will be a little bit different. So, everybody has to do something for themselves a little bit until you can get the kids out. When they're little, it's a little bit more challenging. Once they get bigger, it's like, cool, now we can all go out there and do these things. But let me know what you think. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I just said the other day that here lately I am seeing where more men want babies than women. So this was posted in the Regretful Parents. She says, my husband wants kids and I don't. She says, my husband and I have been together for 6 years. I'm 30 years old and he's 28, about to be 29. We have pretty good careers, make good income, paid off cars, and a house. So financially, we are ready for children. We are classic fence sitters. When we first started dating, we often switched between wanting children and not wanting children. We had always been on the same page. Well, over the last year or so, I decided that I don't want kids. I have a lot of mental health problems, and I have been diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. I am on medication for it. I also believe that my husband has undiagnosed depression as well, but he doesn't think so and doesn't want to go to therapy. He is often looking for something to fulfill him, never truly happy and chasing all of these milestones. Well, recently the conversation came up again because we were at the spa and the lady doing our pedicure asked if we had kids. I kind of gave her a funny face and a chuckle like, no, we don't, and I don't want them. Ha ha. She said, we look like we would make wonderful parents. Well, that caused a conversation to take place, and my husband and I take place between my husband and I. All of a sudden, he really wants kids. I told him that it took me a long time to get to where I am today, where I am finally taking care of myself. I do a lot of self-care. I go to the gym very often. I travel. I finally found a job that I love, and I'm creating this life that I love. I know myself, and I know if I have a kid, I will fall back into depression and everything I worked for would be gone. I am sensitive to noise. I love my sleep. I'm loving the body I'm in, and I can't just imagine staying home and taking care of a baby. He said he would help out, but we all know that women take the most of the load in parenthood. He travels sometimes for work, which leaving me to do it alone, especially since we don't have a good support system. This right here, this whole paragraph, it says no, do not have children. This whole paragraph. Another thing is I've had spinal fusion surgery, and I often hear that you either do a C-section or do natural because getting an epidural would be hard considering I have all these screws and bars on my spine. That's a lot of trauma right there. He says that he wants to continue to grow in his career despite us being financially stable enough and wants to still wait, thus leaving me waiting in limbo for him to decide where he believes he is financially stable and decide. I told him it's not only his decision and timeline, and it's not fair to me that he gets to be the one to say, okay, we're ready. And now I'm saying I don't want kids. All right, now that I'm saying I don't want kids, all of a sudden he's so on board with kids. He is constantly changing the goalposts, never ready, always chasing for more, always needing more before he is ready for a kid. I strongly believe that by the time he is ready to have a kid, I will be over 34 years old. I'm like, you should have just got with the girl who is 10 years younger than you. He says he can see himself being a father and that it gets boring with it just being him and I. He says he doesn't want to divorce, and if we did, he has no desire to find someone else. But at the same time, he is not sure. That hit me hard because obviously I love him and I'm not sure if this will break us. I don't know what to do. I really have a good, we really do have a good, fun relationship. And we've grown so much over the last 6 years. I'm proud of us. Absolutely do not have kids. He's talking about he's going to help out. He's always looking for something. He's always chasing for some milestone. Like, okay, I have kids. And when they open up presents at Christmas or when they ask for something for their birthday, they literally play with those things for like a minute and a half. And then they go right back to the things that they already had. That's going to be what this man does. He's going to play with the kid for like a week and a half. He's going to smile. He's going to take some pictures. And then it's going to be on her to take care of this child. Absolutely not. Do not do this. Do not do this with some kind of person like this. This is not not stable enough. And she doesn't even want kids. She's going to be the one stuck raising a child that she does not want. And then she's going to be posting in regretful parents just because now she has this kid that she didn't want. And now she is resentful. She's stressed. She's hateful. Please do not have kids if you do not absolutely want children. Aggressive Staff says, I read some quote somewhere that said men want kids the same way children want pets. And I think it fits here. Please don't have kids. Will you love them? Maybe, sure, but you will regret it judging from your current circumstances. Your husband will likely help out the bare minimum amount and the rest will fall on you. This person says, right, he will help out implies her job and he helps. Scary wording for me personally. Coopster says, yeah, not good and betrays his mentality. Okay, here's the OP. LOL, no, because that's what I was thinking when we were talking, like wanting a pet. He also doesn't handle stress very well. I'm good at multitasking and I just know things. I do get overwhelmed though. With him, one minor inconvenience in his life sends him into a spiral of depression. Please do not have children then with this man. Aggressive Staff says, okay, good judgment of this would be to tell him, okay, if we were to have a child, I need you to stay at home and be a house husband while I focus on my career. My friend said this to her husband and her husband was so bewildered, he couldn't believe she thought of that as even an option and told her that she wasn't being fair and that what if he needed help? And then the OP says, oh, I already know the answer to this one. I married a workaholic, which doesn't bother me as much as it would other people because I don't need to constantly be around him. But no way is he giving up his career, even though he jokes about being a stay-at-home dad and me being his sugar mama. Once again, the more she's talking, the more it's like, why would you even consider this? Like, he's a workaholic. You're going to be stuck with this child. Okay. I hope that some of these people in the comment section actually talked her off of this because she doesn't want kids and she would be raising a child. Okay. Spider Chai says he sounds emotionally and spiritually immature and falling into the trap that so many people do, having a kid because there's nothing better to do with one's life, i.e. the consolation prize. I'll end with this comment from the OP. She says, we took care of my 5-year-old nephew for a week because my brother and sister-in-law took a couples trip. My husband and I worked well together with him and got a glimpse into taking care of a child. By the end of the week, we were exhausted. Imagine doing that for 18 plus years. My mom and my husband's dad are so emotional and we butt heads like crazy with them because my husband and I aren't. We had controlling helicopter parents. God forbid we have a child who is very sensitive and needs constant affection, attention, and hand-holding because my husband and I both love our freedom in doing our own thing. The kid would probably feel so neglected. If we did have one, the kid would need to be okay with independence. But you know, life doesn't work that way and kids need a balance. And then this person says, or you end up with a child with special needs. And like this woman said, she does have a history with mental health issues and the husband is battling depression. This sounds like a terrible, terrible situation to bring a child into. It doesn't sound fair for anyone involved. Absolutely not. And I hope that she's typing up all the reasons to not have children. Like, why would she even want them? But then hopefully some of the people in the comment section have talked her out of this completely, like to where she needs to shut this down and really have that hard discussion with her husband. Like, absolutely no, because it sounds like she's okay with him trying to talk her into this. And I am very confused as to why, especially if she doesn't want to and she knows she would be stuck raising the kids. So I don't get it. Anyways, let me know what you think about this one. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Yo, so here we have a black woman MAGA. She's sitting up here dancing to YMCA with all of her Trump gear. She was happily getting Trump into office. And now I'm about to show you the next video where she's talking about racial issues within the court system. So that is about to be the next video that you see. I'm going to show you a clip.
Stop scrolling real quick. I just need you guys' support in helping to free my son. My son is 23 years old and he is currently facing 21 years of incarceration due to racial injustice. My son was defending himself, and unfortunately, most black and brown people, individuals, whether you are a man or a woman here in Colorado, do not have the right to use self-defense. The judge denied my son's self-defense. Therefore, that same judge sentenced my son to 21 years in prison. Right now, I am fighting to free my son. I have a strong appellate attorney and an attorney team, but right now we just need some support to put the word out there that racial injustice within the black and brown community has gotten out of hand.
The Trump crowd said that there's no racism, so I'm unsure who's going to help this woman out, but y'all definitely needed to see this. Let me know what you think about this story.